Welcome back to First Look Asia. Well, education has come a long way through the years. These days, literacy goes beyond just the written or spoken language.
The language of computer programming is fast becoming an essential part of a child's development. The thinking is being familiar with technology is key to success in the digital future.
And to discuss this, we have Jonathan Chan, founder of JULES Ventures, and that's a company that provides coding lessons for young kids.
And Lim Sin Hong, a father whose 4-year-old child is enrolled in the program. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Now, before we start asking you questions, let's hear from one of our viewers on this topic.
Okay.
Jeff Quattromani is a tech expert who tweeted us about a program that he runs at the Bede Holding College in Sydney, Australia.
His program encourages teens to innovate and create, and he believes embracing technology is the key to success in today's world.
One of the disadvantages of schooling at the moment, not just in Australia but everywhere, is that they are so focused on individual subjects and not thinking about how they all relate together into a single role or career outside of school. And yes, not everyone is going to work in the IT industry after school, and it shouldn't be forced on everybody. But having some understanding of how to code or how to develop applications or websites, it's definitely going to pay in dividends later on, because it's things that people are looking for in the real world. I work for a really large medical company, and I manage the IT department there. And when we're looking at people who come out of school for employment, we're going to look for things beyond just the standard curriculum that they learn in school.
So you heard there Jeff saying technology, coding, programming is essential for kids today. And Sin Hong, you have a 4-year-old son who's enrolled in a program to learn about coding and computers. Why do you think this is necessary?
No, it's really more than that. It's not learning coding per se, but it's learning computational thinking, which is, I think, more fundamental. It's the conceptual underpinning that is underlying of coding. So it's learning the logical structures and ways of thinking, which are more broadly applicable to all the various different coding languages that are available. It's how to create programs. It's like learning syntax, right? It's learning the logical flow of language, not the language itself.
John, do you think this is going to be very beneficial for kids, with this sort of knowledge? It sounds like it is.
Well, as an obvious answer to that, if I had every parent that was as enlightened as you, it would make my life a lot easier.
So let's talk specifics, John. Your program is billed as a world first. It revolves around computational thinking. So can you talk us through what that is exactly?
Sure, very happy to. Computational thinking is basically problem solving. And it is based off on the 4 concepts of coding. They are pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is basically the basis of IQ and intelligence. Decomposition, that is basically recognizing that a large problem is composed of small problems. Solve the small problems, you solve the large problems. Algorithmic thinking is defining a way to solve a problem using a clear and precise set of instructions. And lastly, abstraction, which is solving problems by taking out complexities in it and only using the relevant information.
These sound like difficult concepts to teach a preschooler. So your program, how does that aim to teach them these things?
So we intend to sort of revolutionize education and bring out the genius in children by teaching them computational thinking while playing games that they love. So our School of Fish, which is our first computational thinking, or CT for short, curriculum, is basically designed for kids. And our teaching methodology is a series of online and offline games. And these are meant to be games which kids love. They're meant to be fun. They're not lesson-based worksheets that you fill in. The pedagogy is based on discovery, self-awareness, and having, as you can see, having a good time.
So we sent a crew there to capture that, and it looks like the kids were building houses, was it, or building a home, or what do they do in these games? What makes them different from other computer games, for example?
The activity that was filmed here was basically decomposition, showing the makeup of a house and designing of your own house. And what are some of the pattern recognitions that you would look at in terms of what goes into a bathroom, a bedroom, a living room, and so on. So you can teach these concepts to children at the preschooler age today, because these teaching methodologies are more embedded into the gameplay as opposed to being outright teaching.
Sin Hong, this is great for your kid, but also 4 to 6 years old, shouldn't he be outside playing too, having fun, and actually touching things, being more tangible with outside blocks and wood and cars and just natural sunlight too?
Absolutely, they get plenty of that. And I'm definitely not compromising on that. But screens and the digital world is part of our new reality, right? And I think this is an essential part of the world that we currently, as adults, engage in. And my kid.
So you're actually looking ahead for your child. It's not just play as well; it's also logical thinking.
And I wouldn't get my child involved in the program if it wasn't play, because I really do believe that game-based learning is the most effective way of really teaching the right things to the kids. The most effective method of doing that, and having my child learn all these important ways of interacting with the digital world through games is a very effective way.
Was your child resistant to this at first, or loved
Took like a fish to the water. Literally, he loves fish, and he just kids love these devices, and I think also what the challenge is really holding their attention long enough for them to actually learn something. And I think JULES has succeeded in this way of creating an interface that's very attractive and for the kids to continually engage in.
Did you ever feel like your lack of digital fluency wanted or led to you placing your child in a program like this?
So not actually. I actually consider myself to be reasonably digitally fluent, as are many people in our generation. But it's precisely because of this digital fluency, I think, that really motivated me to look for programs like this. I really do see the trend, this arc of progression of coding becoming really important in our everyday lives, Internet of Things and all that. People being really fluent in how to manipulate and engage in an environment where coding is so important is a key skill, I think.
Jonathan, is this more common in Asia, Pacific, or is this a global phenomenon?
I think it's universal. Kids today are born digital. They have access to a screen, tablet, smartphone as young as before they learn to walk, right? So parents are also embracing the fact that their world is going to change. It will be a network society, and the key determinant is whether a child is able to function and manipulate these new technologies, and therefore being able to be productive and relevant.
But I'm thinking that this type of program is only for particular children who have the resources, or whose parents have the resources to place them in a program like this. Would this be available for all children? For the future, how would this be accessible?
Yeah, so Teresa, to be frank, this is what drives us all at JULES, right? Our mission is to make computational thinking universal and available to all children. Our curriculum is designed so that it is able to be deployed through the internet, power of the internet globally. It therefore is scalable, and it's designed to be mass marketed as well. It's designed in such a way that it's easily teachable and reachable to governments, schools, and families worldwide.
Okay.
Fantastic, so very accessible. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in. And we were speaking to...
That was Jonathan Chan, founder of JULES Ventures and father of a 4-year-old who's enrolled in the program, Lim Sin Hong, discussing the integration of computational thinking in the preschool classroom.
Excellent. Now, just ahead on First Look Asia, World News is coming up, plus tech and food wastage.